All right, so we're diving deep into smart cities today.
Smart cities, yeah.
Specifically, how AI and
AI.
this edge computing I keep hearing about are going to, like, revolutionize transportation.
Yeah.
Less traffic, safer streets, maybe even
Definitely safer.
a little futuristic flair. Who knows?
Yeah.
We've got a ton of research and real-world examples to unpack.
Absolutely.
From self-driving cars in San Francisco to those smart traffic lights in Barcelona.
Yeah.
Ready to break it all down.
Absolutely. What's fascinating here is we're talking about, like, systems so smart. They can, like, predict gridlock before it even happens.
Whoa.
These technologies can learn and adapt in ways that were, pure science fiction just a few years ago.
It does sound pretty wild, I have to say, when you put it like that.
Yeah.
But before we get ahead of ourselves, let's rewind a bit.
Right.
For those of us who haven't quite wrapped our heads around it, what exactly do we mean by smart transportation?
So smart transportation, basically, it uses technology to make our commutes, whether it's by car, bus, bike, even on foot, safe, more efficient, and ideally better for the environment as well.
I like it.
Think about, like, traffic signals that adapt to real-time traffic flow instead of just sticking to a pre-programmed schedule.
Right.
Or you have autonomous vehicles.
They
can actually communicate with each other to optimize routes, minimize congestion.
So less about flying cars and more about making what we already have work smarter.
Exactly.
I like it.
Yeah.
And a big part of that seems to be this edge computing thing. I'm seeing that term everywhere these days.
It's a game changer. Imagine this. Instead of sending data all the way to a far-off data center for processing, which takes time, edge computing allows for, like, instant analysis right there on the device itself.
Wait, so a traffic light can think for itself?
In a way, yes. Whether it's a sensor, a traffic light, or even your own car. With edge computing. These devices can process information and make decisions in real time.
Wow.
Which is crucial for things like self-driving cars, which need to react to their surroundings instantly.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
You wouldn't want your car waiting for a signal from a data center miles away.
Exactly.
When it needs to, like, swerve to avoid an obstacle.
Yeah.
Speaking of self-driving cars, I'm curious about the safety aspect.
Okay, yeah.
Are we talking about a noticeable difference, or is it still too early to say?
The potential impact on safety is huge.
Really?
We're talking, like, potentially a 30% decrease in traffic accidents, according to some studies.
A 30% decrease?
Yeah.
That's incredible.
And it makes sense when you think about it.
Yeah.
These self-driving systems, they don't get tired, they don't get distracted.
Right.
They're not emotional like we are.
Right.
They rely on cameras, sensors, and AI to navigate. And thanks to edge computing, they can make split-second decisions based on a constant stream of data. Companies like Waymo, they use a whole fleet of these sensor-laden vehicles to gather detailed map data. And then you've got Tesla, known for its autopilot system. They are really at the forefront of this technology.
It's amazing to think how far we've come.
It really is.
Such a short time.
Yeah.
But what about those of us who rely on public transportation?
Public transportation, right.
Can buses and trains get the
That's a great question.
smart treatment too, or are we stuck waiting at bus stops forever?
Public transit is, I think, ripe for a smart makeover. Imagine a world where buses and trains can dynamically adjust their schedules in real time to make sure they arrive exactly when they're supposed to.
No more frantic sprints to the bus stop, hoping you didn't just miss it.
Exactly. These smart buses and trains would communicate directly with traffic management systems.
So they'd know.
Optimizing their routes based on, like, real-time traffic conditions.
Wow.
And you, as the passenger, would get real-time updates sent straight to your phone. So you know exactly when to leave your house, down to the minute.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
I love it. That would change my life.
Right.
I'm not even kidding.
It would make a big difference.
That would be huge.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Okay, that's music to my ears.
Yeah.
I'm already feeling calmer just thinking about it.
Yeah, it's definitely.
But let's talk about the bigger picture here.
Yeah.
We're already seeing these amazing advancements.
We are.
But what does the future hold for smart transportation?
Well, you can't really talk about the future of smart transportation without mentioning 5G.
Okay.
This next generation of wireless technology is going to be a real game changer.
Even faster than edge computing.
Think of it this way.
Oh, yeah.
Edge computing is like giving each part of the system its own brain,
Right.
while 5G is like giving all those brains a super fast connection to talk to each other.
Okay.
So it allows for
Okay.
almost instantaneous data transfer between vehicles, traffic lights, road sensors, you name it.
So we're talking about a level of responsiveness and coordination we can barely even imagine right now.
Exactly. Yeah. This kind of seamless communication is going to make autonomous vehicles even more responsive, more efficient.
Right.
And it will open the door to some really exciting possibilities.
Like what?
For example, imagine cars driving in tight formation at high speeds.
Okay.
Almost like a high-tech version of drafting and racing.
Like they're connected.
Precisely. It's called platooning.
Okay.
And with 5G, it could become a reality, potentially increasing lane capacity by, get this, up to 400%.
Wow, 400%.
Yeah.
That's insane.
Now, on top of these communication advancements, we're also going to see a surge in the variety of electric and autonomous vehicles on the road.
I'm picturing self-driving taxis.
Yes.
Electric buses that know exactly when to pick you up.
You're on the right track.
What else?
Think autonomous delivery drones zipping through the skies.
Ooh.
Smart ride-sharing programs that can connect you with others heading in the same direction.
Okay.
Even those electric self-driving buses you mentioned. This shift towards sustainable and intelligent transportation is going to require our cities to adapt in some pretty major ways.
Adapt how?
Oh.
Give me the futuristic details.
Okay.
Are we finally talking about flying cars?
Well, maybe not flying cars just yet.
Okay.
But think about it. If we have all these electric vehicles on the road,
Right.
we'll need a massive infrastructure overhaul to support them.
Okay.
Imagine charging stations seamlessly integrated into the urban landscape, built into streetlights,
Okay.
parking spaces, you name it.
That's smart.
Yeah.
No more hunting for charging stations.
Exactly. And we're not just talking about adapting our physical infrastructure. We also need to rethink how we design our cities from the ground up.
Okay.
Instead of prioritizing cars, imagine cities designed with pedestrians and cyclists in mind. Dedicated lanes, smart traffic signals that prioritize their safety, green spaces woven into the urban fabric.
So it's like the whole...
All of this working together to reduce emissions.
Okay.
Create a more livable environment.
Right.
Improve people's quality of life.
It paints a pretty amazing picture.
It does.
But are we getting ahead of ourselves? This all sounds great in theory.
Sure.
But are there any downsides to all this smartness?
Yeah.
I mean, technology isn't perfect, right? It does make you wonder, with all this talk of data and, interconnectedness and everything, are there privacy concerns we should be thinking about?
That's the million-dollar question, isn't it?
Right.
While the potential benefits of smart transportation are huge, we can't just ignore the potential downsides.
Right.
Data privacy is definitely a big one.
Right.
These systems are collecting massive amounts of information about our movements, our habits.
Right.
We need to make sure that data is being used responsibly and ethically.
Okay.
Not for surveillance or to exploit personal information.
So it's not just about developing cool technology. It's about making sure it's used in a way that benefits everyone, not just a select few.
Precisely. And that means having open conversations about things like data security, transparency, equitable access.
Okay.
Like, if these technologies are primarily implemented in wealthier neighborhoods, it could actually exacerbate existing inequalities.
Right.
We need to ensure everyone benefits from these advancements, regardless of their income or background.
So it's like we're at a crossroads.
We are.
We can create a future where technology makes our cities more efficient, sustainable, equitable.
Yeah.
But only if we're mindful of the potential pitfalls along the way.
Absolutely. And I think that's the most important thing for people to remember.
Okay.
Smart transportation isn't just about fancy technology. It's about building a better future for everyone.
Right.
It's about creating cities that are more livable, more sustainable, and ultimately more human.
It's been fascinating to dive into this world with you today.
It's been fun.
It really makes you think.
Yeah.
What if we could actually redesign our cities from the ground up with these technologies and these values in mind?
Absolutely.
What kind of future could we build?
Right.
I think that's something for all of us to ponder.
I think so too.
Really interesting stuff.
Thank you.
Thanks for joining me.